Good evening, friends. Welcome to ParaX's bedtime stories. The story I'm about to tell you is called The Man Who Knocked at Midnight. This is not a story that you're going to find in books, travel guides, but a story that is passed on in candlelit rooms from one restless soul to another. So sit back, relax, and whatever you do, don't answer the door after midnight. The Hollow. Ash Fern Hollow was a forgotten place, swallowed by the hills and time. No highway signs pointed to it. GPS signals faded a few kilometers before the road turned gravel, and the trees began to lean just a little too close to your car. The villagers were kind enough but distant. They wore the look of people who knew more than they'd ever say out loud, and they all believed the same thing. You do not open your door after midnight. Not for a knock, not for a cry, not even if it sounds like someone you love. Then came along the outsider, Peter Vale. He didn't believe in things like this. He was a novelist from the city, wrote thrillers, urban horrors, the kind of stories with neat little endings. He came to Ash Fern Hollow chasing solitude, hoping the quiet would unclog his writer's block, and it did at first. The cottage that he rented was crumbling, stone walls, crooked floors, and ivy curling into the window panes. He loved it, claimed it had character. The villagers tried to warn him, politely at first, then more firmly. "Whatever you hear at night," the old man in the general store said, his voice barely whisper, "don't answer it, even if it begs." Peter laughed. "What is it, a fox with manners?" But the old man didn't smile. "It's not an animal, Mr. Vale, and it remembers mockery." For the first 6 nights, everything was peaceful, quiet, even sometimes too quiet. Peter was filling page after page, drank his tea, watched the stars. He ignored the creaks in the house, the cold draft that seemed to move on the air, and the whispering wind that sometimes said nothing. But on the 7th night, just as the fireplace burned low and the old clock struck 12, knock, knock, knock. Peter froze. The knocks were soft, deliberate, not rushed, not random, just patient. Then came another knock. Knock, knock, knock. He crept to the door, looked through the keyhole, and saw no one. Knock, knock, knock. This time a little closer and a little louder. His curiosity flared, hot and stupid. "It's probably a prank," he told himself. "Maybe some bored teenagers." He undid the latch and he opened the door. Standing there in front of him, this tall, impossibly thin man, dressed in a soaked black coat that clung to his body like a second skin. The fabric shimmered, not like rainwater, but something slicker, something that had pulsed. His face was wrong, pale, smooth, like candle wax left too close to a flame. His eyes weren't eyes at all, just deep, endless sockets, so dark they made Peter feel like he was falling. Peter tried to speak, but his voice vanished in his throat. The man raised a hand, skeletal, greyish-blue, fingers like needles, and he beckoned. Peter backed away, but his feet didn't listen. He stepped forward instead of backward, over the threshold. Immediately the door slammed shut behind him, and Peter Vale was never seen again. In the morning, the villagers found the door open. His tea was still warm, fire still crackling. A manuscript on his desk, left half finished, the last line typed, "Something is at the door." No signs of struggle, no footsteps in the snow, just a faint, slick trail on the wooden floor that stopped at the threshold. And from that day on, the cottage sat empty. No one dared rent it again. But every year on the anniversary of Peter's disappearance, the knocking returns. Knock, knock, knock. Sometimes those knocks are soft, curious. Sometimes they're frantic, like someone's trying to escape something on the other side. But no matter what it sounds like, you must not open the door, because the man in the black coat waits, not outside, but just beyond. And if you let him in once, he never truly leaves. So if you're alone tonight, and the hour grows late, and you hear something at the door, don't answer. Just pull your blanket tighter, close your eyes, and remember Peter Vale, the man who laughed at warnings and vanished forever into the midnight. Thanks for tuning in and listening to my story. There's one thing I want to ask you. Just imagine for 1 second you're asleep at night, it's after midnight, and there's 3 knocks at the door. Would you actually get up and go and see? Or would you just let it be? Choice is yours. If you like the story, give us a like and a subscribe, and hang on to your seats for the next one. We'll be releasing one of these once a week. Good night, ParaX family. Sweet dreams.